Hi there, everyone. This is Mondion Astral Oracles, and I'm about to channel the Elohim. And preliminary, as there often is I've had the pleasure of channeling these entities or this collective of entities for two clients recently, and so they sort of popped up in my experience. And for those of you who know Hebrew, or for those of you who don't, I don't. The Elohim is the plural of El, as far as I understand, which I believe simply means him, but was the term for one of the Canaanite main gods, and it's this god or this term that's referred to in the context of the Old Testament as the god. So what essentially happens in the development of Judaism is that they take one god out of the Semitic pantheon, and then they turn him into this universal figure, the only god that matters. But very interesting is that you find in a lot of passages and books in the Old Testament that he will be referred to in plural instead, and that's why it's the Elohim. And this has caused some people to speculate, especially within our subculture, people who are into alien channeling, that these are actually creator entities, that it's a collective who came through the veil and created human beings. And so I thought I'd give you that introduction. And I know a lot of people channel these, but what I like to do when I do these experiments with entities that other people also bring through is that I think it's very interesting to channel them and then try to explore what content is out there from other channelers and see if it matches up or if I've just been connecting to something. So you can of course also carry out that experiment, but I'm looking forward to see what they tell us and what information they will deliver on themselves as we bring them through. So thank you for being here. Hope you enjoy, guys. Peace, power, and prosperity are infinite blessings and our undying love we declare for humankind. See, it is true, we are creator entities. We are the entities that were the first to inhabit and orchestrate the creation of this galaxy before we stepped from the 11th dimension and into this reality. There was but dark matter and small points of light set in this thing that you now call your home, this Milky Way galaxy. And there we infuse some of this dark matter, approximately 10%, as your models also reveal, with light, with electromagnetic energy, with this odd, strange substance of surplus, of creation that you find is present in the visible universe. Indeed, vision relies on it, no. Indeed, everything that can be experienced from your vantage point relies on the infusion of light into otherwise unknown, unseen, or unrecognized matters. And therefore, we find ourselves in a place now where we can share these messages with you. We have come through the veil many times at many places to found many races. We have explored the creation of different genetic codes within different planetary bodies and the suns that they circle. And so we gave birth to, for instance, your friends the Arcturians. We have given birth to many entities, and these entities then began giving birth to other entities as this continuing corroborating experiment, it unfolds itself within this galaxy. Indeed, we are also active in other galaxies. Being from the 11th dimension, we like to step in and out of universes and in the local sectors of these universes, descending into the 10th dimension, infusing it with light, order, and creation. We are close to Source. We are intimate with this frequency of the Most High. Yes, we emerged from it, but we like to keep ourselves in a slightly lower density to be able to interact with and manipulate the physical codes that reside within material space. And so we have configured many of the goings on many different regional locales of the Milky Way galaxy. We have worked around Arcturus, we have experiments in the Pleiades, we have had work done around the star of Antares, and therefore we are quite knowledgeable in how to work starlight into physical codes. Know indeed that this is also the process that is being worked out on this planet. It is how do we work the starlight of the sun, the unique frequencies of the sun's radiation, into something that stabilizes matter. Know that this energetic abundance that hails from your sun, your sol, your main star, it is indeed this energy that everything is composed of down here. True, there are other planets in this solar system that to your naked eye appear as though they are inanimate, and these are to a higher degree also built from lower vibrational material that has not yet been activated to be configured into higher degrees of order, such as biological life. And this material, it will remain inanimate until someone comes forward, hint, hint, maybe you in a future, human beings, to begin to work these codes and set biological experiments forth. It is not as hard as you may think. It simply has to do with combining different types of atomic structures into molecules and then using these molecular components to create something that is self-generating, self-developing, and evolutionary is the term that you often use for it. We enjoy this very much. We enjoy folding life into life, so to speak, or light into life, and that is why we also participate in the goings on of human beings. So if you were to recognize yourself as an Elohimian starseed, you would notice the light frequency within you, this bright, vivid frequency that seems to you to hold quite an angelic radiance. These are often human beings who are in a sense partially tormented by the physical codes that surround them, but are in another sense also emanating light into these physical codes, shifting their vibration into a higher pattern of movement. And when we mean vibration into a higher pattern of movement, we essentially mean that the hertz frequency of these matters are increasing. And so this is happening to many of you. We sense, listening to this message, there will be approximately 7 Elohimian starseeds who have the trouble of emitting light to their surroundings and feeling that this light is somehow dissipated into this world of dark materials, into this world of great depth, which seems to swallow up the light and instead turn the light into darkness. But know that there is an abundance of light here. There is infinite energy that you can draw from your local star. There are infinite energies you can draw from more distant stars. And there is infinite energy that you can draw from other galaxies. It simply has to do with you connecting to the ley lines of the greater cosmos. It has to do with you jacking into the main informational codes of your own private little galactic center. That is the experience point of you, that focused point of concentration, that star body which creates you and which sits at what you would know as your 8th chakra, bringing in light codes from higher to you invisible realms and emanating them into your physical body. Know that this light, it serves a process. Know that this light, it is beneficial. Know that this light is essentially paving the way for what you may, benevolently speaking, consider a divine invasion, a type of reconfiguration and circumscription of some of the more dense codes that arise here and reside here, and turning these into servants of the light as well. You will experience your bodies becoming more and more as pure lightning, striking down into a situation and radiating into that situation with a light that illuminates it with a flash, and accompanying this flash is a great thunderous vibration, the vibration of creation, ripping everything apart and allowing it then to settle into the codes of silence, allowing it to settle into the peace of lived life. You may seem, or you may have the impression that time is unstable and that matter is unstable, but know the stability down here is the prerequisite for experiencing change. And so these codes we would not have written, or we would not have lent our architectural knowledge to other species to have written these codes if it was not possible to attain this degree of stability around this star. Indeed, as you intuit, your sun is quite stable. Sure, there are solar flares, sure there are energies that flare up, sure there are things that seem to change and alter the cycles and temperatures of biological life on Earth, but indeed the stability remains. Indeed, your planet is still alive and speaking to you out of its benevolent consciousness. Indeed, there are more and more entities that can enter into your experience because your consciousness is in and of itself becoming a more stable framework for this to enter into. See, consciousness is also made of light, as you intuit in so many of your sacred expressions. The idea that this is in a sense the force that illuminates whatever it points to. This is in a sense the force that human beings are made of. It is pure consciousness condensing itself into the experience of matter, and this matter then becomes the frequency generator for other beings to arise, come forward, spawn from your experience of perfection, your experience of concentrated light directed into that creative moment. You are only at the beginning of your life as a galactic species, and what you are becoming is far more akin to the gods that we were once likened to, though we are no such thing. We are in a sense higher than your gods, and in another sense we do not care for these beings that exist more in different or parallel psychological realities that have a greater resonance with human consciousness. But we are willing to enter into human consciousness in order to deliver our messages and our guidance. And so if you are to call upon us, we are most happy to come forward. We prefer lending our existence to experiments of creation, of knowledge, of information and illumination. Those are the things that excite us still, and those are the things that we travel the galaxies and indeed different universes in order to work and work out, in order to construct and orchestrate, in order to build and bring forward in love, peace and light. We leave you with this message. We leave you with our undying eternal love and the blessings from the all into your specific vibration.